Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by big4accountingfirms.com and the Big Four Accounting Firms YouTube channel. Today's podcast, I wanted to speak about the work that the Big Four are winning and are doing related to COVID-19. And I'll be giving a summary of why this is important at the end. But first, let's talk about the work they've been winning. And we're going to first talk about Deloitte. Now, Deloitte has won a couple projects, and primarily in Australia right now, that are public. In Deloitte, Australia, they were appointed administrator of Virgin Airlines in Australia. And this is basically equivalent to bankruptcy. And what this means is that Deloitte will be in charge of helping Virgin Airlines sell its Australia division. And Virgin Airlines has been in the news all over the world because they are struggling, as well as many other airlines. And a lot of the airlines are getting bailouts in the US, but in countries like Australia and UK, they aren't. And so UK, Virgin Airlines is still trying to get the bailout. But here in Australia, they're already getting put up for sale, and Deloitte's in charge of that. And some other work that Deloitte won in Australia is they're building a chatbot related to pension funds in Australia, because a lot of people are calling up the pension funds in Australia, and they're wondering if their pensions are going to be okay and if they're going to be safe. And so what Deloitte has done there is they've won some work helping the government build up their chatbots. And we'll speak about PwC next. Now, PwC won some work in the UK, helping the UK government understand how to bail out an airline there called Logan Air. And moving on to E&Y, I recently saw an ad on CNBC for E&Y of the website that E&Y has up. And E&Y has partnered with CNBC to provide corporations and business owners with information about COVID-19 and how it impacts their companies. And they have a pretty detailed website. And after I saw it, I went to the other Big Four firms' website and checked out if they had COVID-19 information. And a lot of them do, but it's not as good as E&Y's. E&Y has a pretty well-built website related to COVID-19 right now. And another piece of work that E&Y won is that they're partnered with SAP and Qualtrics and assisting governments around the world dealing with COVID-19. And these solutions that they're building are available in more than 90 countries. And what this is going to do is it's going to help healthcare companies and professionals track and respond to COVID-19. And E&Y is just helping them deploy it and helping with the planning for it, while Qualtrics and SAP is going to handle the technology side. And lastly, let's talk about KPMG. Now, KPMG won work in the UK assisting with building of emergency hospitals, and they're helping with the NHS Nightingale hospitals. And what they're going to be doing there is they're going to be basically project managers and helping dealing with building of emergency hospitals. And they won another piece of work in the UK, and they're going to be helping the government with unemployment claims. And what they're going to be doing there is they're going to be assisting the UK Department of Work. And in the US, KPMG won work reviewing PPP applications, and that is the payroll protection program where the US is providing small businesses with loans through banks. And what these small businesses have to do is they have to fill out applications, and then banks have to review them. And KPMG is helping review these applications. And they finished the first round because the first round of PPP funds run out pretty quick. But the second round of PPP funds is due to start this next week. And I'm sure KPMG will be helping out with that. And a lot of other accounting firms will be helping out with that as well. Because banks and the Small Business Administration might not necessarily be knowledgeable enough about all the supporting documents that are going to be provided with these applications, where accountants have a ton of knowledge. So that's a short summary of some of the work that the Big Four accounting firms are winning right now, specifically related to COVID-19. And the reason I wanted to cover this is to show people how important accountants are, and how they're, even though they're losing a lot of work, there's still a lot of work left out there to be won. And they're going to be helping governments all around the world understand COVID-19 and then helping deploy funds. And they're also going to be helping businesses dealing with bankruptcies and how to restructure and how to deploy capital through this whole process. So that's the podcast for today. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast to get future content, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for listening.